Wondering what to write about, trying to figure out what it's all about. Existentialist, am I worth anything or just a scout? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Spending time all alone, sending my songs to the phone, dreaming of a better home, while focused on trying to hone this craft. I hope the brujas let this last. I don't know.
That was Outside by Walter. And obviously, if that was playing on your Monday or Friday, you know what time it is. You're on WNHH 103.5 FM. This is Behind the Brand. My name is Easy Blues. My partner in crime right now is actually having tea with Sasquatch, so Prestige will not be here today. But today we're going to go on another incredible journey like we do on Mondays and Fridays. Today we're going to go on a journey of the mind and the eyes, because if you look at, like, say, Instagram, people take pictures of their food because you eat with your eyes first. Your eyes are literally the stairway and hallway of your soul. So when you can find someone that can truly contort and make beautiful different images and different light, that is something that is absolutely amazing. And when you can crack a Nebco and enjoy it while the amazing sounds of July and the Serotones are playing, you know it's a heck of a night. So I want you to put your hands together, not if you're driving, please keep your hands at 10 and 2. We don't need any accidents, but mentally put your hands together for a dear friend of mine, someone whose art hangs in my house, and someone who has actually been around my family. So mentally put your hands together for the amazing, the fantastic, the incredible Claire Barber. How you been? Long time no see. Hugs.
Yeah, I've been pretty good lately.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, what I love about your journey in particular is you hit every single aspect of art as well. Not only do you create, but you educate, you help the next generation go up and go through, and you're doing so with just that amazing smile that you have on your face. I remember literally many years ago. We won't talk about how many years ago because it's been a while, like 12 years. Man, oof, I know. Walking into Stella Blues, and you had the chalk pen. And you're actually drawing on the thing that people were using to, keep tally for, I think, either darts or pool. When did art really hit you? Like, when did you know that this is who you are and this is where you wanted to be?
I have always been drawing, painting. I think around 9 when I really started painting with acrylics, and it just felt like the medium for me, and been nonstop. High school, I was doing a lot more singing. I was in choir, but by senior year, I was back in art classes, then straight on to Central up in New Britain. I took as many art classes as I could. Sometimes I was taking 8 classes. Some people think that was crazy, but I enjoyed it. So.
And I think that's one of the most incredible things. And for the listener at home, really listen to that aspect. You were taking 8 classes. You were almost overwhelming yourself, but you were doing it out of a place of passion. Right. So you were really feeding your soul in doing these things. And it's one of those things, like, seriously, if you want to go out and do something, then you have to do it. And you can't, I have to word this correctly because we are on the air. You cannot half cheek it. You need to go full cheeks, and it's so important that you do commit yourself fully to it. Now that can be a journey, that could be a struggle. You have to, constantly find, like, side hustles and different things like that. How did you transition into understanding that you can get into the education aspect of it as well?
That's an interesting question. So even when I was in college, I had a professor, great guy, Mike Alowitz. He was kind of a mentor to a lot of us there. And he wanted to run a class, how to make money off your art. And I was the only idiot that signed up for it. So that class didn't run. Mm-hmm. But, and he said it all in joking, but he was like, you're going to work at Starbucks. Good luck. It's tough out there. But I could have went for my education degree at the time, but there was just something about being in the school system I wasn't fully committed to. Mm-hmm. I did end up teaching at little places, the Little Red School of Art and Music in Stratford. I went there when I was a kid. I taught there for a few years, did a lot of after school programs through that, and then always taught private lessons. And then 5 years ago, I was given the opportunity to be an art teacher at a Catholic school in my town, and that was really nice. Working with the kids and getting to build up my own curriculum. There's definitely things in the school system that aren't for me, but overall it was fine. And now I'm at this place in Westport. It's another after school program, but it's really beefed up, and it's got a lot of different types of art classes. We even have a digital lab here. Not that I mess with any of that. You can see what my medium is, but it's just been really nice to be able to give to the kids and show them what you can do with this stuff. It's not just something fun you get to do in school sometimes and have like a fun class, although plenty of them treat it that way. But it's I do love teaching. I love being with the kids. They're just so bright and they have so many cool ideas. Even if they can't execute it at how young they are, it's still the ideas are there and the passion is there. They're always so excited to show you what they're working on. And I feel like a lot of adults forget that, it's okay to be excited about your passions and talk about it and let people know.
That's 100% so true. I actually love when, especially speaking with younger musicians and even younger people that want to venture into the radio thing because they feel like they can talk to me and I don't know why. Because I have no idea what I'm doing. So they're like, oh, can I have some advice? I was like, Nike, just do it.
Yeah.
Word. But it's incredible because that energy is there and it does remind us to try to stay childlike because there's such this beautifulness of passion when you look at it with unobscured eyes, and reality, bills and the lights and all of those wonderful things start to really stack up on you, and that can kind of beat it out of you. How have you been able to maintain your passion with, because here's the thing, yourself, much like myself, this isn't just like what you do.
Right.
This is who you are.
Exactly.
So a lot of other people, we can have this conversation, they'd be like, well, statistically, yada yada, but this being who you are, how are you able to trudge through life? Because it can get really intense and it can break a heart or seven.
Yeah. Well, especially when I was at the Catholic school working, it was only part-time. It was my only job for the 4 years I was there. So it was a lot of sacrifice, doing my own after-school program, taking all the subbing I could get. And then also the added stress of it being the pandemic. Teaching through that was crazy. But, and there's times where it's like, oh, I can't even do any painting for myself. And that'll happen. But this is my first series in a long time where I really put in the hard work and just, like I said, trudge through, because there's going to be more for you if you push through it. But it's definitely been a journey, and I'm happy with these. I've been working on these a few weeks. Nobody's really seen these yet, and this one, speaking of childlike, I don't know if
Kermit the Frog,
Rugrats, Magic 8 Ball. This is a Barbie, and this one's not finished, but that's crunching tonight. So,
well, it's so super interesting because how does one now, for those playing the home game, how does one get an actual art showing, especially in a place? I've seen art showings in like tattoo parlors. I've seen art showings in galleries, but I've never actually seen one in a brewery. How did that happen?
I didn't even really know they were doing these artists in residence. I went there for a benefit for my friend, unfortunately, but she works there. She's dealing with some stuff, so we had a benefit for her. And I noticed this other artist, Lukitha Marcella from I think in Bridgeport. I saw her artwork was up, so and I've seen her stuff around for many years. really cool stuff if you haven't checked out her work. I saw it there, and then I asked my friend about it, and she was like, "Oh my gosh, why didn't I think of you? You should do May." So it's really just like getting out and asking and looking around, just getting out really. I even noticed they were doing stuff at the Cellar too. I like walked into that bar
Mhm.
like 2-3 months ago, and
Mhm.
there was a guy there, Joe Gould, I believe his name is, and he had all his artwork up. So it's just about making connections and like just getting out of your house and not being that recluse artist all the time. Um, it was just been nice. This is a great opportunity. I love New England. I've been going to them since before they even had their current location when they were across the street on the other side.
Mhm.
That's going back pretty far. So,
Well, I know that actually for a fact because you were one of the first people to suggest Sea Hag to me
oh,
when I first came out here some years ago. So I truly know your love for Nebco, and I think it's incredible because I love how you talk about there are those spots where you can go through, and I remember I don't know if you remember because we're gonna go back to like many years. I remember you used to you'd be able to go into like a diner
yeah.
and there was always like artwork on the wall of the diner with like price tags and you could like purchase the like consignment pieces, and I always thought that was so interesting, and I love how we're somewhat getting back to that. I think as we are getting broader as a society more so we can do fun things like interview you through Zoom and hope the internet doesn't skits out on us. We're also finding that more breaking into that barter and trade, that hand to hand type of aspect and more of that personal aspect. And you're seeing these businesses join up together, because at the end of the day, and you and I have both put on shows, and we'll put a little bit thing out there. That's why you have vendors at your shows, because that's more people that are going to tell people that there's a show and they're going to want to come. Now, you have been in the music scene and you have been in the art scene, and I always just call it a full art scene to begin with. Um, what made you want to bring music into your opening?
Yeah. I just really wanted to be a celebration, and this band July and the Serotones are friends. A lot of them are friends with my brother, and I noticed they're going to be at the Sound on Sound,
Mm-hmm.
and so I thought I'd book them now before they're famous, and also just to have like a fun vibe going on. People might stay longer if there's music instead of just being like, "Oh, okay, I saw your thing." Because it's a very busy night. There's stuff happening at the State House. A bunch of metal bands are playing there, and
Mm-hmm.
several other events happening. But have a bunch of people already said they're coming out, so I'm so far happy with all that. And it's just gonna be like a little low key party for me, basically, and just hanging out. And hopefully, some new people will see this stuff while it's hanging up in May, and
Yep.
some followers from that. It's my end game.
Well, see, I think it's incredible, and for those who don't know, you have a very long history of coming to shows. You actually did a live painting for one of our shows, which was so cool, and we actually were able to do kind of like a time lapse video, But these are those things that again, businesses or artists, working together to help push that, because that helps with your exposure, helps with our exposure. It also creates something different. I've had many conversations with the incredible producer Vic Steffens, and he says all the time, no one really goes out to shows anymore. You have to put on an event.
Yeah,
And
it
for
doesn't.
those people who know me, I put on an event anytime I walk out of a place. I'm probably doing the George Jefferson strut and having a grand old time because I'm a wackadoo. But it's so super important to have these celebrations, and especially, again, not to beat a dead horse, but like coming out of the dark times that was COVID. Um, there are so many more things we do have to celebrate, so many things we were taking for granted. The ability to meet together, the ability to listen to live music and look at incredible art. These are the things that we need to celebrate. And I'm going to celebrate you till like forever, because like you're like one of my bestest peoples in the world, and you know, love you so much. Um, as you are like moving forward, is this going to be something where you're going to be doing a lot more? Are we going to also see, because we also know, and I'm not going to give out the address, we also know like you do these incredible like backyard movie things. Will
Oh
it
yeah.
be like some backyard art on the projector while you have like maybe some acoustic musicians sitting and jamming around like a fire pit? You know, is that like the next evolution of, you know, Claire Entertainment? Like what's happening?
Yeah, wow, that's actually a great idea. I definitely want to I'm going to continue this series. I had like 10 other ideas for this, so it could be something like a little
Mhm.
backyard party. Everybody come check out the art. I do hope to have another event because I priced these kind of high. I don't really want
Mhm.
to sell them, but I'd rather build up the series and then get into some other galleries at some point. It is hard though. It's pretty hard. It's like a special club. You're not
Mhm.
a club. You got to pay to get in. And that's
I,
the
Yeah, unfortunately, that is the entertainment industry. Period. When you're dealing with some type of arts, you know there are, no matter how much we want to be as open and as loving, there are definitely those aspects. You know, from the musical aspect of it, you know, you have to kind of buy into getting these different contacts, and then get those contacts, and then sell those contacts to the people below you that need that. So then you can buy the next level of contacts to get through. It's just a constant push pull. But I love that you are kind of again grassrooting it. You are kind of, you know, doing it yourself instead of going into like I don't know, the Louvre. That's the only gallery I know. So we'll just I'm very uneducated in galleries. So instead of like going into the Louvre and be like, hey, my stuff is in the Louvre, you're like, hey, I'm going to go to Nebco and I'm going to hang up some of my stuff at Nebco. There are people constantly walking in. You know, they have great business aspect of it. They have a constant good turnover. Your stuff's getting the exposure necessary. I want to see this more and more. Like, I would love, you know, every like all small business people that are listening or watching this show right now, please hit up Claire and be like, hey, I have this incredible bodega and I would love to like hang your pieces in the back of this bodega, and you just tell people that your pieces are in my bodega. And this is how businesses can help each other and we can all grow together. You know, I tell people all the time, I don't want to be the boat that rises. I want to be the tide that rises all boats. And it's an incredible experience to have. It's one of the reasons why Prestige and I put this show together, is so we can highlight the amazing people in our lives like yourself. Um, what is your end goal?
the end goal.
Mm-hmm.
The end goal, would eventually be consistently putting out new work, trying new things. This was a little different for me, not too much. It's, there's still lives, but I tried to have subject matter that was not anything like you've seen before. Like this one's sort of like crystals and books about witches and mushrooms and things. And then I have all the 90s nostalgia. Everything in this picture is from the 90s, or at least a reproduction of from the 90s. And then this one is all like morbid, like, kind of dead animals. There's a groundhog in here, dead butterfly. There's some anatomy stuff on the bottom. So I went for these different themes, stuff that like I wish people were doing. Because when you think of still life, you think, oh, flowers, fruit, a vase, the basic. And I have seen other artists doing stuff like this, but I love working big. These are pretty big. And it's I challenged myself.
Well, it's absolutely beautiful that you challenge yourself here on 103.5 FM WNHH. We are behind the brand. My name is Easy Blues. Prestige cannot be with us today because he is actually helping to coronate King Charles. And I think that's amazing. He actually gets to bring out the crown. So big ups to Prestige. We miss you. We love you. We cannot wait for you to come back. But as we do move forward, so tomorrow, which would be on the Saturdays, right? Um, how do people figure out how to get in touch with all of this? How, what is that moment? Because again, I'm a big fan of life is all about moments. What is that moment that you are people are going to have when they walk in the doors of Nebco? July and the Serotonin's blasting, and again, amazing pickup, incredible human beings, phenomenal musicians. I mean, their original material's amazing, but some of their covers just is mind blowing. And also, you'll be able to see them at the State House with Bella Bartok coming up as well by the end of this month. You definitely want to check out that. But go see them first tomorrow, and bid on, because she's priced it high because she doesn't want to actually part with the pieces, but like at least offer her some money. That's from make it worth her while. These are her children. So if you want to part with the child, it's going to be $10,000. That's. So what is that draw? What is the moment that you are the most looking forward to tomorrow?
I really hope people who haven't seen the work will have a reaction to it and be able to connect with what they're seeing on the canvas, with the color, the space, the different values. And I kind of based these also off those old I Spy books. You remember those?
I knew it.
Yeah, it's definitely based off that. I had another still life that's not here that'll also be in the show, and that also inspired this, like just the bright colors, really pushing those boundaries with the value and the contrast, all that art stuff. But I just want people to look at them and be excited for art again.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like anything they've seen before, so it might change their mind about what art really could be or is.
Well, I think it's awesome, because I'm so glad you pointed that out, because I wasn't 100% sure about that, but those hidden picture books. I also used to play the games on the computer. So much fun. But you, as I would consider, and please do not take it offensively, because I feel it's a high compliment. You are a phenomenal pop culture artist. A lot of the stuff that I have seen, the stuff that I have in my house, is dealing with, some pop culture points, whether it be, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, or I remember the last time you had like a Star Wars thing going on. And was there a Pokemon? I'm not sure if there was a Pokemon, but I want to say at least a Pokeball was on there as well. And now you have that 90s one behind you, which I can't. And then Kermit is just so awesome. Yeah, it's so dope. Is this just, I know this is an answer because I know you, but they don't know you. The audience doesn't know you at home. Is this just a part of your personality that comes out through the canvas, or is it a gimmick?
I would say it's more my personality. And these are all really personal to me too. These are all objects I have at my house.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them I had to go digging in the attic for, but it really means something to me. And it's funny, sometimes people will ask you, oh, well, what, I see this in your painting, or I see this. And I like leaving it more up to interpretation. Like, some people with this one didn't understand what it was about, and other people who do know what the witch community is all about were like, oh, that's obviously an altar. Like, that makes sense. And I really think the 90s one is going to be the one people connect with the most, because there's just so many references, like, to everybody's childhood, really, like not just the 90s, a lot, but there are very specific references, like the tape,
Yeah.
the old camera,
Right. Well, it's so super interesting, because as we get to see, and we've heard it 1.5 million times, everything old becomes new again. When you start to go out to some of these shows and some of these independent shows, there are a lot more artists right now that are releasing cassette tapes, so much so that I had to buy a Walkman.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah, no, because our amazing friend Mo Pickles, Mo Nichols has this incredible MF Doom mixtape. And it's only on cassette, and I'm such a huge MF Doom fan, and I'm such a huge Mo fan, that I needed this in my life, and I thought I had a tape deck in my house, and I didn't. So I had to go buy a Walkman, and now I just want cassettes. Like, I'm on this whole kick now. Like, if I can find some singles, oh my goodness. single right now would be amazing, especially like if it's Rump Shaker, because I think that might have been the first single that I've ever had was Rump Shaker, and it was awesome. But this is why stuff like this is so super important, because it can get you in touch with those things you thought you missed, and with those things that you forgot about. This is what we were talking about earlier on in the show, holding on to that childlike innocence and to hold on to that passion. And when you have a good piece of art in any type of genre, it's going to speak directly to your soul. Um, yeah, well, and knowing you for 100% who you are, this is what you do. This is why I say this isn't a career choice for you. This is who you are. This is who you're always going to be. Do you have any type of issue sometimes in being able to translate that into the art itself? Or do you just have those moments where I'm going to stay up for 3 days and just paint forever and ever?
Yeah, especially when I was younger, it was a lot easier to stay up for 3 days and do that. I've been, I work a 9 to 5, and then I've been going home for the past 2 months or whatever it's been, and just working nonstop on these. So it's been like a full-time second job as well. Try to get away a little bit, but it kind of feels like college again, because there's like a deadline. It's got to be done by tonight, really. But I'm very happy with what I've been able to do with my time these past few weeks, and it just feels good when, even if you are struggling, like certain parts of these canvases, I really enjoyed a lot more than other parts. Some parts are really tedious, like all the little stained glass on this thing right here. It was a lot of like, okay, forget this part for now. I'm going into something more exciting, like the books or the mushrooms. And then there were some parts where I like couldn't get the right color that I wanted. So there's definitely struggles. It's not just here we go, Bob Ross it and just happy little trees. But even when you do struggle a little bit, it's like you said, you push through, trudge through, and then you have this sense of like, wow, I did that. I pushed through that. I made it happen.
No, that's, first of all, thank you for actually sharing that, because that's super super important. Us as creatives, we feel a little bit harder than everybody else. We have that empath aspect of it, and the weight of the world can beat down upon you. And we'd love to be able to take that out on the art, but sometimes the art fights back. But that's also this incredible dance, because when you're there and you're in the moment and you're frustrated, but then it breaks free, and it's just this incredible aspect of it. I also want to talk, because I find it super super interesting. You have this really incredible, for the stuff that is like the dead stuff behind you. It's more of that darker palette, and the one that pays tribute for witch life and stuff has a warming, almost healing type of palette. And then behind you have that pop culture thing where it's all kind of poppy and different things on that type of aspect. So you're really playing with like, some people will look at art and be like, oh, this was Picasso's blue period. Is this going to be like considered your hidden pictures book period? Like, what do you call this period for you?
I guess we can call it the I Spy. I'm calling the series Everything But the Kitchen Sink, because I have a ton of other ideas. I wanted to do one that was just all stuffed animals, one that was I have a bunch of roosters in my kitchen, so I'm just gonna do like all roosters and aliens. There's just so many directions I can go with this and still have it be interesting. And they're kind of academic, but the way I'm playing with the colors is more kind of based from movies, really. Like this one, I was watching a lot of Twin Peaks.
I could tell. It's so interesting, because that actually, the background itself looks like when he's in the period with the little person walking through, and it has that curtain. It's like the same exact. Wow, that's awesome. Okay, cool. I love that. And for those that are just listening right now, you want to jump on the Facebook page. You want to take a look at this so that you can actually be fully immersed in this experience. And make sure you go back, rewatch it, and then make sure you go out tomorrow to Nebco to see the amazing Claire and all of this. But I love that was Twin Peaks. Now, the one with the witchcraft aspect, was there a certain cinema that tied in for that?
This one not so much. It's more based off this series of books by this author Carlos Castaneda. I really got into his books. It's listed as nonfiction, but it's like the shamans from the Chihuahuan Desert in Mexico. So it's pretty trippy experiences with that he describes. And there's like 15 of the books. It's crazy. There's one book in particular about dreaming and how to lucid dream. So that's more what inspired this one. And just like my personal connection with some witchy people in my life. Like this is the candle witch, my friend Rachel. That's one of her candles in here. And this is a print she gave me that one of her friends did. And there's some other witch books, some crystals and stuff, my cauldron, tarot stuff. So, and again, just all stuff that's personal to me that I have around my house. Some of these crystals I've had since I was a kid. So.
Again, thank you for your openness, because you literally are this is all things that are around your house, and even the stuffed animal aspect. And you have roosters in your kitchen. How do you have eggs? If you only have roosters, there are no eggs. I don't. Oh, you mean like pictures of roosters? Okay, I just want to make sure. And for those that have the dirty mind, she means the chicken thing. All right, people, let's be real. That's a whole nother art show. And that's not done at Nebco. I'm just saying.
The naughty art.
The naughty art show. But as you are continuing and you are going to continue to grow this series and move forward, is there going to be a point in time where you're like, hey, I have all these incredible pieces, let me do a coffee table book? Is that something that you're looking at?
Yeah, I definitely now that I feel like I have a direction to go in, which is something I struggled with for many years, to find my voice and what I wanted to do and what I was happy doing. I could have done anything, really. I could have just picked out some random idea out of a hat, but I thought about this one for literally years before I finally was like, I'm doing it. And, it's just, I'm just happy that it's here, and I want to move forward. Like I said, I have all these other ideas with it, and yeah, the rooster ceramic things in my house. But it's funny because there was a rooster in my neighborhood, and my parents just like grabbed it and got chickens. So we do have eggs.
Nice.
Yeah, I would like to move forward with this and just really hone in on what I'm already doing, and just be able to streamline it so that I'm eventually creating a new piece every few months, and I can spend more time on that. Sometimes having a deadline is great, but I look at these and I'm like, oh, there's a few spots where I know I'm not going to have the time to just touch up these tiny little parts, and I'm trying not to let that kill me. But like you said, as an artist, we're very critical of what we are doing. So.
Trust me, I 100% know there's stuff released out there on the interwebs that I wish I had more time. Yeah. I'm like, ooh, if I would have just went for that half note instead of trying to do that jump there, it might not have been so cringy to me. And then you hear other people like, this is amazing. Yeah. This is so good. You're like, are we listening to the same thing? You don't see it as brokenly as I see it.
So many times, because I've been bringing these in, like, I'm allowed to do a little bit of this on my lunch break at work, and my coworkers are like, "What? You finished?" And I'm like, "No." What are you?
Well, and that's super interesting because artist to artist, is there really ever a point where a piece is finished?
I think with certain pieces, it's obvious when it's done,
Mhm.
and with others, I could probably still do months of work on this, and it wouldn't be noticeable to the average onlooker, but as the creator, it's like, oh man, look at But I'm overall really happy with these pieces. I've definitely had pieces more in the past where I didn't even want to finish them. It wasn't. It was too late at a certain point. Back and fix things. But
No, yeah. No, that's massively understandable. I do that all the time. We like completely craziness, but I'm actually doing my first solo acoustic show. I haven't picked up my guitar in like 3 years. So like I have like 2 weeks to write and put together an entire set. And I just keep my guitar just keeps sitting in the corner mocking me.
yeah,
Because that's all part of that artistic process. How do you fight through when the canvas or the paint or the brush itself is mocking you? How do you level up?
I personally have to take a step back, either go get a drink of water or just walk away, even if
Hmm.
for a minute to go to the bathroom or just get a snack or and then it's a lot of this staring, measuring, looking at the colors, seeing how the colors are bouncing. Um, to someone who doesn't get that, they might be like, "What are you doing? Aren't you going to work? And why are you just staring at it?" Um, but there's so much mental gymnastics happening when you're doing that. That's going on, under the surface there. So that's been a huge part of this is just keeping them on easels at home and looking at them when I wake up, looking at them before bed. Um, I guess that's something that you learn when you go to art school and take art classes. To really be able to measure with your eyes, that's not
Hmm.
something everyone can do. But when you can, and then you see how things look proportion, like those, you can tell those are books.
Hmm.
You can tell there's a plant there, and
Yep.
the values help, but you got to be able to see that and figure that out.
Well, I was actually going to compliment that cauldron looks so
Oh, I lose you.
of the cauldron on this incredible painting. Extra special. Was that something that you put like, hey, that happened?
Yeah, I had that. Actually, that cauldron in real life is pink. Uh,
Ah,
but my sister was like, "You should make it orange," which makes sense because I have a lot of blue
right.
shadows here, and it really picks up all these other oranges. These are like little bottles filled with glitter. To be honest, it's like makeup glitter. But they were like fairy something. I don't know.
Well, what I do know is we are here on, 103.5 FM, WNHH. We're behind the brand. My name is Easy Blues. Prestige cannot be with us today because he is actually finding the Fountain of Youth. Yeah, he just went all the way to Mexico. He's getting himself a drink of it because he's such a young and adorable man that he needed to. But we are here with the amazing artist Claire Barber, and we are sitting here talking about art and her incredible art show, which will be tomorrow. That's when it starts, right? Tomorrow at Nebco, and they can go through for the entire month of May. Um, as you are continuing to grow and move things forward, do you see like is the end goal like Claire's own gallery, where you're not only because I mean you're already helping the next generation come through, but you can then fully branch where there you have an education aspect and a showing room for the youth or for other artists that are growing and building with you.
Yeah, that would be so cool. Sometimes I think about doing like a little coffee shop type thing. I mean, it's a little played out, but to have a space. I mean, my main concern now is just getting my own studio.
Mhm.
It is hard doing. paintings like this in your living room. Especially because I like to work big, like pretty big, and I think they're really going to lend themselves to the brewery. I don't know exactly where I'm putting them on the walls, but I know that they're big enough. No matter where you are in the tap room, you're going to be like, "Whoa, what is that?" Want to go over and look at it. So.
No, that is incredible. And for those who have been to the tap room, you know that for a fact. You're going to walk in there and these things are going to pop out at you in such a glorious type of way. And again, you get to see them for the entire month of May until everyone offers you $10,000 a piece for them, and they buy them and they take them from you. And you know, and I'm putting it out there right now. I'm putting it out there. Like this is what's necessary. You know, and as you continue to grow, you know, are you also like taking photos of them so you can have the prints, you know, or is this just like this is the canvas, this is the only way you're going to do it, and you know, this is my one-off limited edition? How do you market that type of aspect?
Especially if I end up getting a lot of interest, I will absolutely make prints of these and then just keep them, which would be ideal at this point, just to be able to continue showing these as I add more to the series. I'm hopeful people will just be excited to see them and maybe even commission me. I think like a cool idea would be for people who like, oh, I love all these things, they mean a lot to me, but I just can't keep all this stuff in my house. And then I could do a painting, or you know, if like a family member passes and you want something to remember them by, that you could have like all their special things in a nice painting, and then it's on display on your wall all the time instead of just you remembering, oh yeah, their grandma's stuff is in that box, you know. But you know, there's just so much I want to do with this, and moving forward with it, I would like just more people to see them and see what else I can do, and just have a good time with it.
Now, for the average listener that doesn't exactly know what a commission is, can you explain that a little bit? This way, maybe they can hit you up and commission you to do that piece for that loved one or the puppy. Oh, you know.
Yes, I've done a lot of pet portraits, both after, you know, while the pets are still alive or after they've passed. I've done some just regular portraits of people, wedding things like that. But yeah, commission, you can ask me like, hey, I have this stuff, I have this idea, and we figure out a price. I remember one of my favorites was for a friend of mine, Chris, and he commissioned me to do a Viking. It was a bunch of Vikings playing ice hockey in a fort. So, you know, it's just, I love it. I love doing the fun stuff. And sometimes it's easier when somebody else already has a very specific idea. I've got like Santa Claus, Christmas stuff, holiday stuff. I'm pretty much all over the spectrum with painting, at least.
Right. No, that is awesome. And you know, it's incredible to do as well, because when, you know, yes, you're an artist, you have a specific vision, but you also can then adapt to someone else's, you know, what they want, and can give that type of aspect. And that's why I think commission work is absolutely amazing. I would love to see actually more of it in the music world, and especially as we jump into the world of what AI is going to bring us. And everyone, you know, but here's the thing, and this we've talked about it for years upon years. Every time there is some sort of technology break, everyone has that moment. But it was David Bowie who said it the best. You know, when he was talking about the big boom in techno music, he's like, yeah, but every once in a while, someone's just going to want to go home and touch something that's wood. And that is what, you know, organic music is. So even as we move forward with AI, people are still not just investing in the art, but in the artists themselves. So, you know, all those artists that are out there right now, again, as Claire said before, don't just be that recluse. Go out there, network, get your stuff out there, get people to know you, have them bond with you as a person, so they can now invest in you, and then you can now invest more into your art. It is so super important. And also, like, don't be evil. Be a nice human. That'd be nice. People like to invest in nice humans. We've been spending way too much time investing in evil, and we need to invest in nice, wonderful things like Claire. Um, Now, as you do go through, and as you know, the doors. What time will the doors actually be open
So
on Saturday?
brewery has its own hours. I think they're open all day. I'm setting up the art Saturday morning. Hopefully that goes well. uh, with my luck, knock on wood though. And then for the debut, for the exhibition, I think that technically starts at 5:30. The band's gonna start at 6, and then they're gonna go play till 8:30, and then I believe the venue closes around 9, so there's a little after time there too. And I'm even considering going to the State House after to go see Xenosis and all those other bands playing.
Well, let me know because I'll be there. Because I live at the State House now. That they're going when unfortunately those doors do close, they're gonna close me and Mike Voice in there. We're gonna be cemented in there from this point on. We go with the State House, and that's how it goes. And again, just make sure you're going out and enjoying every single aspect. And I would love to see you because I haven't given you a hug in like forever. So that'd be dope. And I love the fact because this is so much a part of who you are. Not only are you talking about your show, but you're talking about other shows that are out there and other artists that you can invest in. That is so super important. And it's one of the things I'm a big fan of giving flowers now. That's one of the things I've always respected about you as a human. You're always there not only to shine a light on yourself, but you also let your art speak for itself. But you're always shining that light on other talent and, helping people grow amongst themselves. So thank you so much for that. And thank you so much for everything that you are doing and continuing doing. We only have a couple more minutes left of the show. They're about to pull the Apollo curtain, or that wonderful curtain from Twin Peaks that's on in the background right there on us right now. But right now, I want to give you these last couple of minutes. If you have any advice, and plus any way that people can get in touch with you, and obviously pitch Nebco tomorrow. Let's go.
Yes, in the brewery tomorrow, 5:30 to 8:30. Please, and another one will be up on display whole month of May. I'll have like a QR code where you'll be able to get to my Instagram and my Facebook page. You can also reach out to me on my personal email, cmbartist@gmail.com. And my advice is just keep going and find like-minded people, find mentors, and don't give up.
No, that is awesome. And you have been an incredible mentor. Also wanted to tell you that my daughter is still creating art because of the influence that you had in her life, and she's doing it more towards the digital aspect of it. Actually going to school for it and creating apps and has her own commission pieces. She's actually going to be buying the new Legend of Zelda game from commission pieces that she's done. Yeah, which I think is so super important. And it's because of the incredible influences of the amazing souls like yourself and everyone else that has gone through. And for those people that also not just want the art, but want the artist and want some extra, advice or, structure and how you go through being an artist, make sure that you do hit up Claire. Very approachable human being, absolutely amazing. You can actually leave her with your children and you don't have to be worried because she's awesome. And I say that because I've left her with my children and they've been awesome. But you're also a phenomenal singer as well. I love some of the work that you've done with Professor B. So amazing. Is there anything in these last couple minutes, or is there going to be like also a musical invention coming through?
I might be singing with him again. I think it's May 13th in Milford. I'm gonna plan for that, but stuff happens, and I haven't sang with him in a while, but it was nice to get the invite, and it was always great to work with him and Vic Stephens, like you mentioned. They're both great people. And they make it so easy, you know.
They do. They really do. And it's just that wonderful energy. And, you know, you know, Freddie's energy and your energy, it's just an incredible thing to see. And I love to watch it on stage, but I also love to just get lost in conversations with both of you. It's been such an incredible experience. Honestly, thank you for everything that you have done. You know, 12 years ago, I was, you know, a dude who randomly stumbled into Stella Blues, and you all made me feel like I was part of a community. And you know, and then I came back here, and I raised my children here. And you know, New Haven is now in my blood, in my soul, and I truly appreciate that. Claire, thank you so much for being here. Thank everybody for listening on 103.5 FM WNHH New Haven. My name is Easy Blues. Prestige could not be with us today because he is actually looking for the Loch Ness Monster. I heard him and Sasquatch were actually teaming up to find the Loch Ness Monster. They want to ride the Loch Ness Monster and give him $350. Yes, that is right. Prestige is going to give the Loch Ness Monster the $350 that he so deserves. And we just appreciate you so much. Thank you for being on Behind the Brand, Claire. And tomorrow, make sure you go to Nebco, check out her artwork, follow her on Instagram, and just seriously invest all the amazingness, love in this incredible human being. My name is Easy Blues. We are Behind the Brand, 103.5 FM. Good night.
Wondering what to write about, trying to figure out what it's all about. Existentialist, am I worth anything or just a scout? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Spending time all alone, sending my songs through the phone, dreaming of a better home, while focused on trying to hone this craft, witchcraft. I hope the brujas let this last.
I don't know.